Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to yet another video, and today we are checking out my top 10 favorite games I've played in 2024 on the Steam Deck OLED. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. Alright guys, so if you didn't know already, I did start doing my Steam Deck content in 2024, and I've now come to the end of the year and my videos have been doing really well. And a lot of people have jumped on the Steam Deck wagon as well. So I thought this video would be pretty useful for these guys, especially at this time of the year when a lot of people are going to be getting Steam Decks for Christmas. People already gotten the white limited edition Steam Deck OLED. So I think it's only right for me to actually showcase my favorite games I've played this year and probably some of the best experiences you can get on the Steam Deck OLED as well. So let's start with Fantasian. Now, this is actually a fairly recent game that just came out, and I've been absolutely enjoying this game. It's so good on the Steam Deck. Now, it is originally an Apple Arcade game, so it would run perfectly fine on the Steam Deck. But playing this game handheld on a nice, beautiful OLED display, it just works so well. And this is a classic sort of RPG turn-based game. So it's made by the father of Final Fantasy. And, you know, it's kind of blended in the old school ways of Final Fantasy with a sprinkle of modern day Final Fantasy. And I'm really enjoying this game. Like, it's the storyline, the visuals, you know, the way they've portrayed the game and the characters, it's just so good. And now, compared to the one that's on Apple Arcade, it is fully voice acted as well, which means that you don't have to spend hours and hours of just reading just context that you don't even have any sort of interest in. You can now just listen to the game or watch the game and everything's played out for you. So I think that's really good. So for the next game is Sonic X Shadows Generations. Now, again, a fairly recent game, but come on guys, like it's a Sonic game. It's a Sonic game. If you don't like Sonic games, where have you been? Sonic games are just so fun to play. This one here is actually a remaster in a way, remaster slash brand new game. So essentially this is literally the Sonic Generations game that came out on PS3 back in the days, and it's been remastered for the current generation consoles. But they've also added new content, which is Shadow Generations. And Shadow Generations is essentially the evil side of Sonic Generations using Shadow, and exactly what happened to Shadow at the departure of Sonic going into a different generation. It's really good. It performs flawlessly on the Steam Deck. It looks absolutely beautiful with the OLED display as well. And it's a Sonic game. So if you are interested in Sonic, I would definitely recommend picking this one up. The next game I would like to showcase is God of War Ragnarok. Now, I did play the first game this year, and I also played Ragnarok this year. Thankfully, it came out on PC. And weirdly enough, Ragnarok runs better than the original God of War on the Steam Deck OLED. Both are Steam Deck verified, don't get me wrong, and both of them play really well as well. But Ragnarok is just so much more of a complete game. Visually, much better. Storyline, better. Gameplay wise, it's just so much more deep as well, and there's so much more going on for it. But just in terms of the performance itself, it runs better on the Steam Deck. I just don't know how. Maybe they just had more time to cook. Who knows? But if you know God of War already, God of War is just a very great game. So I would definitely recommend that one. Now, my next game is for the more casual players, which is Disney's Dreamlight Valley. Now, I am a big Disney fan, and I do like this game. It's a it's a really good ongoing game. I actually don't know why it didn't get announced on the Game Awards, but essentially it's a very good casual sim-like game where you create your own Disney world and you do specific Disney missions and you create your own characters and stuff. And it's actually really nice. If you're interested in that sort of like sim-related lifestyle games, this might be a great one for you. It runs flawlessly on Steam Deck. I can't really, recommend it enough. And then the next game is Spider-Man Remastered. This is taking the PS5 version of Spider-Man and bringing it to the Steam Deck OLED. Now, you're gonna get the new facial animations and facial appearance of Peter Parker, but it works so well. Again, another flawless title that runs on the Steam Deck. It looks beautiful. It runs really great. Gameplay is just absolutely amazing, and I can't really recommend Spider-Man enough. Like, if you do like Marvel, if you do like Spider-Man, this is literally right up your alley. But just the overall performance on the Steam Deck, it's just so good. It's just very welcoming, you know? It's just one of those games where you boot it up, you go straight into the gameplay, and it works. Now, obviously you can tweak the settings a bit if you want to, which I did just because I'm more of a visual person. I like to see even better graphics, but if you don't really care about that and you want a nice balanced experience, you can just boot this game up and it'll work. It's just so good. Now, the next game I would like to talk about is Doom Eternal. Now, again, just like God of War, I did play the first Doom and Doom Eternal on the Steam Deck OLED. I'm only recommending Doom Eternal just because that is one of my favorite first-person shooters. It is so freaking good. And this is just another flawlessly created game for the Steam Deck. It's all Steam Deck verified. It runs super smooth. You can get up to 120 frames of this one with visuals being on medium. It's just so good. It's just so good. And like, you know, if you're really into that sort of hardcore first-person shooter games, like this is literally the best one you can get. It's so easy to jump in and play on the go. Got really nice short levels or short sections where the checkpoints are nice and snappy. It just works so well. So I would definitely recommend Doom Eternal if you're maybe feeling a little bit of a first-person shooter game, and it's something that is a bit more gory and a bit more adult related. Now, the next game is actually a whole franchise, and it did come out this year as well, and that is the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Now, again, I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, I'm a big fan of Square Enix, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, so this had to be on my list. So with Kingdom Hearts, they actually ported all of their games on PC or on Steam. It was originally only on the Epic Game Stores, but now it's on Steam, so you can, you know, get your achievements and stuff, but you can also now play on the Steam Deck. And honestly, again, flawless. Super crisp, super good looking. You know, if you do want to run the game at a higher frame rate, feel free to do so, but I just like to lock it at 60 frames. Man, oh man, oh man. Kingdom Hearts is such a good game, man. A great RPG, action RPG game, which is all based around Square Enix and Disney with an original story that's been told. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 runs flawlessly. Kingdom Hearts 3 had to kind of adjust the settings a little bit, only because I believe it's running on a different engine. And essentially, you know, that engine isn't working extremely well on the Steam Deck, but once you tweak the settings a little bit, like it just works so well and it looks absolutely beautiful. So Kingdom Hearts, definitely recommend that on the Steam Deck OLED. Now the next game, unfortunately, is a studio that got shut down, but this is my personal favorite game. This is Hi-Fi Rush. Like, Hi-Fi Rush is just such a good action game, an action rhythm game at least anyways. This was originally released on the Xbox and then it got ported onto PlayStation. Yeah man, this is just another great game that you can play on the go. Nice and short, quick levels. It is recommended to wear headphones just because it's a rhythm-based game, a rhythm-based action game, so you kind of fight to the beat. If you've never played this game before and you've never played rhythm-based games before, this might be a good entry because there's a whole heap of different difficulties and accessibility options as well. So, you know, if you're not the best with rhythm-based games, you can actually adjust the settings if you want to and kind of make it slightly easier for yourself. But essentially, this game is a fantastic game. I can't recommend this one enough. Now, the next franchise of games is Batman. Now, I'm not just talking about any Batman, I'm talking about the Arkham games. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Now, the Arkham trilogy is just so good. The storyline is fantastic. These games are quite old, especially Arkham Asylum. Now, that is like one of the first games that came out on the PS3. Essentially, like this game just runs more than flawlessly. Like you can bump up the settings to maximum and it's gonna look and run incredibly. And I think it's a great game to actually play on the go as well because it is a sandbox game, not really open world. Open world will be in this second game, which is City and Arkham Knight. But this is more of like a big open sandbox game. So you have big open sections in Arkham Asylum, of course. And essentially, you know, once you finish a mission, you go to the next one and you go to the next one, you go to the next one. It's not just one level and then it loads up to the next level. You have to travel to that section to start that mission. So once you finish that mission, you can just press pause, put your Steam Deck on standby mode and then resume later on. Works just like that, and it doesn't consume that much battery as well, which is really, really good. I think this is also something that I forgot to mention with my previous selections, is that A lot of these games, they don't really consume that much battery. I would say the one that really does consume a lot of battery is God of War Ragnarok and potentially Spider-Man and Doom Eternal. Those are the only real games that will kind of, you know, drain your battery out a little bit, you know. When I mean drain your battery, I'm talking about like you will have about 2 hours of solid gameplay. So it's not all that bad. It's really not all that bad. And if you're traveling with your Steam Deck, then I think you should be good. But the Batman Arkham games, very, very good on the Steam Deck OLED. Now, this is my 10th game, which will be Red Dead Redemption 2. Let me tell you something, right? This is one of those impossible ports. These are just one of those impossible ports that you'd never ever think about playing this on a handheld. But the Steam Deck makes that work. Now, this is not a Steam Deck verified game, but it is a playable game. You just have to log into your Rockstar account and essentially you'll be able to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, they did recently bring out Red Dead Redemption 1, which I haven't purchased yet just because it's slightly overpriced, if I'm being honest with you. But Red Dead Redemption 2 you can get for a good price at the moment, and it works so well. It is absolutely incredible. Like the visuals, the visuals is so freaking good. And you know, if you don't mind the whole 30-40 frame performance, then you shouldn't have an issue with this. Running this game at 30 frames on a handheld with those visuals, mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. It's the reason why I left it to my last game. It is just ridiculously good on the deck. Now I've got one more bonus game that I would like to mention. And the reason why I've left this to the last, because it's probably one of the most popular, but it's not the most ideal game to play on the Steam Deck. And I'll tell you why. This is Monster Hunter World. Now, you probably would have thought that this would have been in my top 10, but the reason why I've left it to the end is because the UI of Monster Hunter World is quite complex. There's a lot of text, there's a lot of things going on. And on a screen like the Steam Deck OLEDs, it's kind of hard to read. However, the performance is really, really good. Now, it is a Steam Deck verified game, and I genuinely think it's probably one of the best experiences you can get on the Steam Deck because you are fighting monsters. Once you fight one monster, you end the mission and then you move on. You choose your next mission. That is kind of like the best sort of, you know, handheld experience, I would say. You know, when you're able to actually finish a level, pause, and then you can choose the next level another time. I really, really like that sort of thing, you know? And with the Monster Hunter World, again, it's just such a great experience. It supports HDR, it looks fantastic, a lot of graphical options as well. And man, like if you want to play with your friends as well on Steam, then this is just a great time to have. I mean, I can imagine like a bunch of friends being together with their Steam Deck separately, and then you all are just playing Monster Hunter World, hunting down some big monsters, like just having a great time. I think that's actually a really, really nice experience. And you can also mention about Monster Hunter Rise as well. Monster Hunter Rise is another great game. It's not as visually demanding like Monster Hunter World, but because it was on the Nintendo Switch originally, they ported it on consoles and PC. It runs flawlessly. Now, this is a similar situation like Monster Hunter World where the UI is slightly smaller, but it is definitely better than Monster Hunter World. But man, if you can get these games and they go for cheap on Steam, 100% recommend them. So guys, that has been my top 10 best games I've played on the Steam Deck OLED. If you are grabbing a brand new shiny Steam Deck and you are looking for some games to play this year, please let me know which ones you are looking to purchase or play, because Steam is such a huge store. There's tons of games you can play on them. This is kind of like the ideal indie game machine, you know, but you can also play AAA games on there as well. So guys, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take it easy and peace.